How is it going, guys? Mazadun is here. So today video will be about managing add-ons on my character on this Shadow Warrior. So if you watched my previous leveling processes, you'll probably know this character. And I decided to show my managing process, how I'm using it, how which I'm settings picking, and generally this will give you understanding what you should be probably doing if you're looking to make your UE looks better. So first of all, how we can manage existing UE on our character. Let's go to main menu, customize interface, layout editor, start editing. So here, as you can see, we can manage our UE as we like it. For example, we can move map here, change hero status, remove here. For example, that's of course that's not great placement for this. Basically, we can hide these things. We can scale as we want to, and same things with bars, chat, and other settings. Um, that's basically how we can change our basic UI. Let's save it, and how we can use add-ons in here. Oops, choose customize interface. Here we have a page mod add-ons, and if you don't know how to properly load add-ons to your folders, so or to which folder, for example, um, here you can see there is a path to your folder in which you have to save your add-ons. As you can see, games, as it for me, for example, disk D, games, Warhammer Online, Age of Reckoning, interface, add-ons. So in add-ons, you should be keeping your folders with add-ons. And let's start setting up these things. So I will start with setting up my basic UI. So I like to keep these things in here, minimap in here. This not useful at all, so I'm hiding them and scaling them to less places. As well, next one. So we can remove chat up here, tactic window somewhat here. Okay. Quest tracker here. We will leave it like that at the moment. Mouse over target here. I will show you why. Let's go it a little bit. Zone tracker, tactic window, and quest tracker in here. So, and for quest tracker we have this button, quest collapser. So I will show you now what this is doing. So if you are using quest collapser, it will show the whole list of our quests. Here we can change other tactics, for example. That's not a problem. I'm using it like that, but if you feel like you want to use it in another way, that's absolutely okay. That's up to you. So next one, I'm generally scaling up these things up to here. Battlefield keep and scenario tracker, I'm using it up here, all in one. Mouse over the target, it thing will show some kind of definitions or descriptions of things or at which you are looking. I will show you now. So mouse over target, remember this. So this is for example mouse over target, or this one, mouse over target, this thing on the right side of the screen. So next, which I should be managing, let's use this in here, cast bar in here. we also can change stance bar. For example, if you feel like you want to scale it a little bit. Granted abilities in here, help tips. In here we are not noobs, so we didn't have any help tips, especially when we are working and not working. And stance bar in here. Since I not used to using switching tactics via buttons, I made it a little bit. I scaled it a little bit because I'm still using it via clicking. Probably when I will get better at Shadow Warrior, I will be clicking on the buttons and changing, but at the meantime, I will leave it like that. So as well, if you didn't like the thing that it shows on the right side, this thing's mouse over the target, you can disable it, like hide and scale it to 0. But generally, sometimes it's better to keep this thing just to see some information over the skill, for example, which such amount of damage this ability will deal, or some definitions of these abilities. I generally prefer to keep it. So next things, it's something like party members, warband members, primary target, secondary target. So as a primary target, I using this and removing this to this place, and secondary target removing this to this place. So generally it's a primary target, and to see the secondary target, most of the times you have to be looking like on your ally. For example, I will show you now in a second. Okay. So for example, that's a secondary target. If you are playing with a healer, for example, you can see on your enemy, you target it, and if you are using damaging abilities, it will damage your enemy, but if you are using healing abilities, it will be applied to your secondary target, to your ally. For example, that's mostly useful on your healers. For example, when I'm playing with a Kayn or Archimage, that's basically the thing which you should be doing. Next one, and you can change the type of bars you have here. You can scale it, make it vertical, horizontal. So let's say, for example, if you like to have your buff effects like on horizontal bar, like in World of Warcraft, for example, we have these horizontal bars and here, all over the place. Um, we can use it in here, and we can check it in here and remove this bar to this place, for example. Okay, apply. And now let's start to see which add-ons I generally prefer to use. So Anywhere Trainer. If you watched my video when I was telling about which add-ons I generally prefer to use, you already know this thing. I won't be going over the details of this add-on. Next one, Auto Dismount, same thing. Black Box, same thing. Buff Head, so let's use it. If you don't know what add-ons these things do, I will show you a video which you should be looking for, and I will explain these add-ons in here. So for example, buff head. Now you can see I have an icon of a buff which I just clicked over my head. So basically buff head. Same thing if you attacking your enemy. If you're applying some type of effect to your target, it will show like that. And where my spiral fletched arrow? What the fuck? Strange. Okay. So, as you saw it, effect was over enemy head. That's very useful on any type of character. Okay, C-map. So C-map, that's a thing which I more like more than casual map. I will show you now. You can see that's overplaced my map, but not this is not the case. So for example, if I will remove the C-map thing, this still here. So why I'm using C-map over the basic map? Because if you can see, difference in the map in which area it shows is huge. So for example, at basic map I can see only in radius to this public west, while at C-map I can see to this public west and further. So that's a great thing. Let's hide it and scale it a little bit here. Come on, come on. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's leave it like that and put it in here. So quest collapser, of course, let's leave it this thing in here. Zone tracker in here, and tactic window in here. Yes. So as you can see, C-map is much better than usual map, but it's not the general difference. You can see there is a specific options for this map which we can set up. For example, show mail icon, offset, event node, border size, background, all the different kind of stuff. But most of the time which I'm using on this map, it's show zoom buttons, and I believe it should be true. Yes. There is a two type of conditions for any type of options. There is a numerous type of options. It's most of the time it's false or true, and scaling from 1 to 10 or something like that. So show zoom buttons. This is basically showing zoom buttons in here, and you can zoom out, zoom in and zoom out. And what I really like about this map is that you can zoom out to the global map. So you can zoom out to global map from here. You didn't have to all the time click M to see where the fight is going on or which direction you are going to. So this is all be shown on your mini map. That's great. About other type of settings in here, I won't be going over in details because this is mostly things which shown like border, color of the border, and things like that. I can only add one thing. One thing, it's show mail icon. Show mail icon true. This will show if your mail send it, if you have any mail in your inbox. So it was in true, and I just want to make sure that it's on. So that's it for CMap. Let's go to the next. So I would like to notice that in order to make a configuration for CMap, you should be using also in conjunction with it CMap config. So basically, will allow you to do things which I did. So next one is pure and pure templates. Okay. So pure, I believe it most popular add-on which most of the people use. So most of the people using. So no, not this one. customize interface layout editor. So if you can see, my unit of my character is somewhat different in here. Basic one, it's my portrait and status effects, but pure unit is much clearer, is much better in terms of information, because you can see clearly how much HP you have, action points, amount of action points, because on the basic unit you don't have this tracker. And let's remove our basic tracker, hide window and scale it, and place it in here. Same thing with the hostile target. So let's hide it. Hostile target pure. Just to scale it properly, let's use it like that. And for a friendly target in here, something like that. So basically what is happening now, we have absolutely same things which we have with the basic unit on same places. As well, if it's absolutely optional for you, if you want to use in other places, it's absolutely okay. That's up to you, because I prefer to see all information in main side of screen. Probably for you it might be different, I don't know. And as well, our secondary target in here also. So same thing, if you are healer, it will be shown here. And why it's add-on that's great, not only because of these clear unit templates, and because you can use different type of options. So here, if in order to summon this thing, you need to write /pure, and it will pop out. And general thing, enable pure or disable pure. I will use one setting specifically, arrow blink for my character. Okay, so I use it specifically to make sure that my settings won't break other settings or other characters. So let's use pure, and let's discuss settings in here. So first of all, enable player unit frame. That will enable this frame, this exact frame. Click through unit frames. I wouldn't recommend to use these things, because in this case, you will be clicking through your units, and sometimes it will create stupid situations when you are in Warband and want to leave it, and you couldn't click on these things because you're clicking through. Class archetype coloring, hit points. That's not useful, at least on your character, because if you're using hit points coloring, this will color your hit points in a type of class you are playing. So for example, there's a tank, damage dealer, and healer. And why you should be coloring your health on your character? Because you already know which type of class you're playing. Show when out of combat. This should be clicked on, because if you will off this setting, this thing will disappear when you out of combat, and again it will create stupid situations when you need to do something with your character, like I don't know, again, deliver your warband, and when you're out of combat you couldn't do it in here. You have to go in here, manage, leave, and such. This is just stupid. Unit frame alpha and unit frame font alpha, this is type of things. So this is basically alpha channel. If you change it, it will fade your unit on or fade font of your unit. So I will show you now, for example, for a font that's a text on this unit, and alpha, it's hold this unit, hold this bar. Second. So basically you can see what happened. That's not required to do. If you have some specific settings or ideas, you can do it, but uh, this is not a good idea to change. Effect duration, so basically this is effect tracker in here. Same thing with as it was on basic unit. So as you can see, all the buffs will be shown in here, and as well we already toggled on our buff head. That will double it, but I generally prefer to use it like this. Show effect duration, so this will show the numbers of this ability on this icon. So you can disable it, for example, because you already have tracker over your head, tracker of numbers, for example. So that's not required. Cell cast effects only. This will show only effects which you cast on your character. So this is not a great to toggle on, because if you are debuffed with type of element, ailment, or dot effect, this won't be displayed, and you can die, or again to trap yourself in a stupid situation. And effect rows, columns, width, height. So basically that's settings to manage how much columns will be displayed in here of these buffs, uh, how large this image will be. That's again up to you. So effect anchor, this is displayed at which side of this unit this effect will be displayed. So now we have option to change it. Now at same time, at this moment, it's anchored to the top, but we can anchor to the bottom, to the left, to the right. That's not a big. That's not like a big difference, because most of the time you won't be using it on the left, on the right, because it will go in here when buffs or debuff will be applied, and it will block the one piece of the screen. That's not a great idea to do, but you can use it on the top, or on the bottom. Same thing, anchor row sets, column sets, nothing special. Effect frame alpha, same thing as it was with unit frames. Alpha, it will be faded away or just straight picture. Formatting, this is default templates, not using this one. Player pet, same thing, you can. So basically settings which were discussed in the player section are almost same for all others sections. Player of the player, target. So this will be different depend on your class, and of course on your preferences. So for example, these settings will be different if you are playing squeak herder, because for a squeak herder this is important to have a clear understanding what's happening with your pet. But for shadow warrior this is not required, and you probably understand why. For a friendly target, same thing. For a healer, for example, it might be useful to toggle on or off some information here, but not for me. For a hostile target, you might be using in here coloring for hit points, because in this case it will color enemy HP in order to the class, for example, healer, damage dealer, and tank. And if you are in the thick of the battle and can't clearly see which target you are looking at or trying to kill, this might help you to better understand which target you are looking. So is it, I don't know, it's a tank, or you should be looking now to switch to the other target. You generally understand the idea, but it's not required. And if you are used, get used to use simple, uh, just basic coloring for HP, it will be a bit confusing for you. So again, same settings all the way down. And basically that's it for a pure. So next one I'm using, it's a targeting. So if you again watched my video about add-ons which I use, this is one of the most again useful add-ons, to my opinion, of course. Basically this is creates this circle over your target, rather that this is ally or your enemy. If it's ally, it will be green, or if it's your enemy, it will be red. And you can use specific settings for this. It's target drink. And again, you can enable it, play sound on showing, change the color for this for this thing, scale it, make it larger, smaller, alpha channel, fade it, to fade it or not to fade it. Enemy target, same thing. Next add-on. Add-on which I would recommend you to use, it's Warhammer scrolling combat text. So basically, what this add-on is doing. So this displays all messages of your character, of combat, and all things like that in some specific places and with some specific actions. I will show you now. Let's type in chat VSCT menu. So there is options for this add-on, and here you can see different pages. So basically, event category: incoming, outgoing notifications, frames. So I believe frame 1 it's incoming, frame 2 it's outgoing, and frame 3 it's notification. And for a new player which are not understand how these things works exactly, I would recommend to use specific profiles. So here at last page we have default profiles, default Warhammer classic split triangle. So it should be rather than Warhammer or classic. Let's load it. So here we have Warhammer settings now, and you can see now these things are in different places, so you can change these places directly in here. So in this option, in this menu, uh, change type of text. It will be font size, font opacity, change it position via X and E. Um, text element displayed at 3D object to show skill icon or something like this. So a lot of different type of settings, and we can test how it looks at the moment. So for example, this is basically which damage is going to me. This is incoming damage, this is outgoing damage, this is notifications. I will show you in a second. For example, oh Jesus Christ, that's a hero. Fuck no. Ah, never mind. I'm sorry, guys. um, where is the other monsters? Okay, let me find a monster to showcase how this sudden work. That was a fail. Gloom Troll, for example, and effect. So if this enemy will hit me, so you can see there is a scrolling combo text going in here. That's a damage which is dealt to enemy because I can see him. This is displayed in here. But if I'm looking at my enemy, it will be shown directly over enemy target. So again, I'm looking at target. Nah, jeez, I'm not looking at target. Numbers in here. So different type of notifications you can directly change which type of messages will be shown in here. Set menu. So incoming, for example, you can change type of frames which will be shown in here. Outgoing. So I generally would recommend, if you not understand what you're doing with this add-on at this moment, I would generally recommend not to change any settings. But if you want to better understand it, I recommend to spend a little bit of time to understand how this works, where this type of message is shown, in which situations they are shown, and change it in the way you like it. Because most of these add-ons which I shown you and how I managing this is basically how I like it. If you will look on other players' UI, you will see that there are might be completely different, and also, as I said, it depends on you. So once again, these add-ons are not complete list of which you should be using in order to achieve something. Not. This is basically will help you to understand game a little bit better, uh, to make your UI looks cleaner, to better understand what happening with you with your character on the battlefield. And yes, that's it, guys. So also, if you're looking for something specific, here on our forum of unofficial forum or Return of Reckoning, we have specific discussion in which different types of UI are uploaded. So and they are uploaded like specific page. If you're downloading and installing to your folder, it will apply instantly, and whole UI will be different. So like default templates. You should be looking for this on the forum. And once again, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will gladly answer them. So again, if you have any requests for me to make a video, just ask them, post your questions here on the YouTube or on forum. I have a specific thread in which I'm uploading my videos. So you can reach me out in here as well. And have a nice day, guys. Bye bye.